what's been happening.
Our patrol ran into trouble. We picked up some signals, but they're being jammed. Could be smugglers or pirates or...
Standing by.
Get me the president, please.
Terry Carter, you have to remember, had been in another series of mine called McCloud. Very, very good, solid, right-hand guy. And, he was the one who would always see, McCloud piling up the third police car in a row, walking back into headquarters with a steering wheel, and oh no, and it was great comedy relief by being so dearly straight and wonderful.
How you doing, Colonel?
Falk.
I didn't mean to startle you. Can we give you a hand with...
If you ever do that again, you're on report, Starbuck. And you can tell the rest of your Playboy pilots this is not the last flash inspection that I'm gonna make. And if I ever find uniforms in this condition, you're in trouble. When Commander Adama sees these, he's gonna go crazy. It's gotta be the pressure.
Jefferson, I think it was a matter of just casting, looking around.
Herb was so good as Boomer, and there was so much potential there in that character. I thought that one needed more development, and for him to come forward a lot more, because he was great. Between the guys, the three of them together, I loved.
Well, I suggest I find one or two volunteers to join me in flying ahead of the fleet and fighter craft to blow the minefield apart with laser torpedoes.
Good idea. Two volunteers.
Out of the question.
My boy, as grave a plan as it is, it appears to be our only hope. You have the support and the blessing of the Council of the 12.
Thank you.
I want to guess who's got in mind to volunteer for that. Hey, wait.
I'm getting out of here.
Well, just the two fellas I wanted to see. Follow me, gentlemen. Let's see.
Now, Lorne could have been an interesting, you could make the case that he was so identified with, the Bonanza, was that a good idea? Or you're better off sometimes with total strangers if they're coming from deep space. But I think it was very hard not to accept that guy because he brought that father role, which we hoped would help bring the wider audience.
It is my intention to seek out that remaining colony, that last outpost of humanity in the whole universe.
Commander Adama, this 13th colony, this other world, where is it and what's it called?
I wish I could tell you that I know precisely where it is, but I can't. However, I do know that it lies beyond our star system, in a galaxy very much like our own, on a planet called Earth.
I actually was sent a very preliminary early script of the pilot, and I turned it down. And I'd worked for Glenn Larson before, but I'd never met him. And I called him up. I can't believe I had the nerve to do this. I called him and I said, I'm very flattered, but this particular role, I want to do a good job for you, and I just don't think I'd be happy playing this particular kind of role. It was quite different than Shiva. And he said, well, we could always rewrite it. And I said, well, yeah, but I have to make my decision based on what you've sent me. And so that was that. And then the pilot, of course, was shot and became a great success. And Glenn called again and said, this was after Jane Seymour was leaving, and he called and said, I have the opportunity to write a new female role, and I'd like to write it for you. Are you interested? And I said, yes. And he said, okay, well, I'll send you what I've got so far. And he sent me about the first 25 pages of The Living Legend. And I read it, called him up and said, what time do you want me to start? So, and when I did start, I knew that it was that 2-part episode. I was a guest star, I think, or something in that one. Although I knew I knew that they were negotiating a contract. I knew it was to be a regular, except I couldn't tell anybody, so hang it. Lauren Green knew.
Can we be of some help, Apollo?
Not unless you want to assist in the transfer of fuel.
What transfer's that?
We have a job to do. Stand aside. What do you think you're doing?
Look, Captain, maybe you don't understand the situation. Adama humiliated the greatest man that ever lived. A man that can think and fight circles around your father.
She's right, Apollo. He saved every one of us from certain death. Now it's our turn to help him.
Look, no one wants to see Kane hurt or disgraced.
Isn't it a bit late to say that?
You are Bolter?
As if you don't remember,
My predecessor has left me with a difficult choice.
Your predecessor?
Was destroyed by your peers.
We pulled out all the stops. You know, there's this constant fight between good and evil, and you know, my own origins in Christianity and so forth certainly have dealt with you know, the war in heaven between the devil and Christ, and one is thrown out and the Son of God is chosen to come down, and we're dealing with free choice. And you know, the devil is supposed to have said, you know, I'll get everybody lined up in order just the way we want it. No, there's supposed to be a freedom of choice here, whether or not you return to your origins. I mean, there's mythology there, there's theology, and so many faiths have so many precepts that are, you know, similar, but they're different, and you bring a little bit of what you've been taught. And so we decided to do the one about the devil. There's a scene in there where they use all of his names. It's like Iblis, Mephistopheles, so forth. By any other name, it is Satan. And so we play with who he is through the whole episode.
Let her go. I command it.
You command no one who does not willingly give you dominion. You have no power over me.
You know who I am.
Yes, I finally know. Sheba, think back to the ancient records. The names Mephistopheles, Diaboles, the Prince of Darkness.
I will give you one more chance before I strike her down.
Dealing with religious beliefs and dealing with the life hereafter and those things, I think those things can be important. I think they can lift a show, and they can, you know, lift it from just shoot 'em up monster of the weeks. And those are the things that were important to me. You know, we translated them in this, when they were in that ship of lights, their uniforms were completely white. And they were in the presence of angels. And they weren't supposed to die now. They were supposed to go back and help the fleet find where it was going. They were taken too soon.
I love Patrick Macnee. He's a mischievous, wonderful, naughty man. He was great fun to work with. When I was told that they were considering casting him, I went, "Ah, John Steed, how cool is that?" And I was really very thrilled to get to do that show with him. And we had a great time doing that episode. And I really enjoyed the opportunities that I was given in that episode too, as far as expanding Sheba's character.
I